is ignorance. People do not know. The police don't know the difference between the people who are actually doing this and who are not.
Yeah.
It's just they have no idea. They've been trained a certain way to say, hey, all car things are this. What is up, everybody? Welcome back.
This is the Late Night Motor Club.
The only podcast you care about. I am Alexander Frederick Burley.
Yeah, I'm just Steven.
Okay.
And I'm Tyler, and welcome to the Forza Horizon
Battle Pass.
Battle Pass.
Welcome to Horizon.
Welcome to Horizon.
Welcome to your weekly podcast where we discuss V-Bucks and everything Fortnite. What is
Welcome
this?
back.
Episode, what? 16,
I don't know.
17?
20,
Maybe 15?
I don't know.
Something.
Yeah.
Either way. We appreciate you guys sticking around and coming back for this episode because we're going to talk about what, Tyler?
We're going to talk about how much you should subscribe to this channel.
Yes, that is also what we're going to talk about.
Before we even get into any of this.
Like, follow, subscribe, do your thing. Come on.
We need it.
Do your thing so we can do our thing
I
and make
need
more
it.
things for you, you know?
And I know there's some of you that are watching and listening that aren't followed or subscribed. Do yourself a
Statistically, we'll put it on the screen.
Come on.
98% of you watching this aren't subscribed to our podcast.
Is it 98?
No,
There can't be because we don't get that many views. Anyways, back to the episode.
Back to
Yeah.
the
Back
episode.
to the show.
So, what we are going to be talking about today.
This
So-
podcast is a juicy one.
It is. Get off my brain couch, bro.
Yeah.
I was just about to say the word juicy.
Couch, bro?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Brain couch.
What did I miss?
Nothing.
So, okay.
Nothing at all.
All right.
We are going to be talking about a little bit of car show, car meet etiquette, and then also how stuff is judged in terms of car shows as well.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah,
So
well-
kind of like how to get people to not hate you
Yeah.
at car shows.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. There's a
How
lot of
to
people-
not be that guy who
Yeah.
ruins it.
There is a
Please.
lot of guys
So,
that are that guy.
please.
Let's dive into pretty much car meet, car show etiquette first. What not to do.
Can we
What-
discuss car meet etiquette first? Because this is near and dear to me. I do much more meets than I do shows because I enjoy going to car meets and just casually hanging out with the homies.
Yeah.
What I hate.
All right, we got to chill out on the
Whoa.
clipping the
Yeah.
mic.
Yeah.
I got to edit this out.
What I hate.
I know you're hungry, but you don't have to eat
Yeah.
the mic, bro.
Yeah. What I hate is when people come to this casually nice and cool meet where everybody's being genuine, authentic, respecting the place, and just having a good time, and they hop in there.
Do a burnout.
Exactly.
Not even. No one even asks.
Yeah.
They just start doing it.
They just
Everyone's
start
like,
doing it.
ah.
And you know what the look is on their face when they're doing it?
They're like, I'm so sick, bro. Make sure you get my stock FRS on Snapchat.
Well, not just the burnout,
Yeah.
but then the revving and two-stepping and stuff like that. Because what that does, because the burnouts, yeah, you're gonna get that like one or two guys that do it, but with the revving, everybody can just rev their car and they're fine with it. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get one guy that revs it, and then you're gonna get the next guy that's
Dude.
like, oh, my car's louder and better. So
It
they're gonna
starts-
start revving.
Have you ever seen? I think it's Zootopia.
Yeah.
Where the wolves start howling, and he's like, "Stop it! You're gonna start the howl."
Yeah.
That's how I feel about guys revving
That's-
their car. 'cause
That's a funny
exactly
example.
what.
Yeah.
Like,
That's exactly what happens.
if we're at a car meet and like it's 30 minutes in, and then we hear the first person start revving, we're like, nope,
Let's go.
done.
Yeah.
We got to
Yeah.
get out before the it starts, because we already know, we have experience with going to car meets and knowing right when the first person starts revving.
You should leave. Yeah.
Like, okay, there's going to be a helicopter in the sky within the next 15 minutes.
Yeah. That sounds like an exaggeration, but Orange County, SoCal, that
we
is
get
real.
helicopters
That
in the
is real.
sky,
That is what
and
happens.
we get cops surrounding the entire complex and plaza.
Helicopters almost immediately sometimes. Like
Yeah.
overkill.
Or sometimes while people are just showing up, like within the first 30 minutes, nobody's even doing anything.
Yeah.
There's just a helicopter patrolling the skies. Like,
It's
they're not
almost-
doing anything, but they're surveilling us.
It's almost like we have a disproportionate of tax funds going to the police while not as much crime is going on. So
Wow.
they do stuff like waste gas, going to car meets in helicopters. Anyways.
Anyways.
Cops going at car meets?
Yeah. Let's
Huh?
go ahead and just inform the people. If you're watching this and you are the guy who does show up and is like, I think I'm gonna start revving. Nobody likes you. That girl's not gonna notice you. You know it's not that big. And everyone thinks your stock car is a pile of worthless garbage, no matter what's done to it, because a shitty person makes a shitty build. Gang.
I'm cooler than you, Alex.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good for you.
The one thing I want to latch on to that you just said is your stock car. And I think the majority of the time, and I'm not saying always, but I feel like it's younger people, not even somebody who's new to the car scene, who just got a car, wants to come out to this car meet.
They want to show off
right,
their thing that is cool to them.
And their only reference is like video games,
right,
Need for Speed.
Which there's nothing wrong with thinking what you have is cool, but there's etiquette behind it, especially at car meets, where it's like, yeah, you could have your Nissan Z that's straight piped and you think it's cool. Whatever. Who cares? But when it comes to showing up to that car meet with your straight pipe Z and you think it's the coolest thing and you want to start revving it because you think everybody else will think it's the coolest thing too, that's the problem there. And especially at car meets, to where you're not just revving your car and people are hearing it, you're letting, let's say, the neighbors of the plaza know.
You're allowing the police to know, hey, we're right here.
Yes.
This is where we're at.
Yeah.
So you're ruining it for everybody else at that car meet, where people don't want to hear your car at car meets. They want to socialize. They want to hang around. They want to walk around. They don't want the cops to come and shut that shit down.
Obviously.
So
and the people who do these things are typically the ones in the stock cars. Sorry, Tyler. We'll give it to you in a second. Are typically the people in the stock cars, like we talked about, I think, in the previous episode, where they're the ones who aren't going to get in trouble because they have the least amount of stuff done to their car, even though they're doing the most. And the people that will get in trouble are the people with the most amount of stuff doing their car.
Who's just chilling.
Doing the least.
Well, usually like with the revving and burnouts, they do the revving or they do the burnouts and then they dip before the cops even come.
Oh, yeah. And then it's just
so when the cops show up, the people
just,
that were actually doing it have already left.
Yeah.
And then you're left with the people that, like, let's say you and
just
I
chilling.
Us, or like we're just chilling, hanging out, but then the cops come and are like, you guys probably did that. I'm going to give you a ticket.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like, no.
Yeah, it's dumb. And we've already gone over the whole stigma with the police and stock cars revving and all these things, but it even goes beyond that, okay? So the stigma that's attached to this whole car culture of revving, and people don't want to be associated with all these stupid things that people are doing because they associate it with the revving, the burnouts, and all the stupid stuff, and the people, the street takeovers, people getting hurt. So when you come professionally to a business to try and obtain some of these spots to have just a nice quiet meet, association is now that you guys are going to be doing these donuts. People potentially could be getting hurt. Police are going to come. They're going to ruin their lot, vandalize their parking lot, even though, yes, it's just like tire marks. It's just a nuisance, right? And if that's attached to your business, that's something that people don't really enjoy. And so the supply of space and businesses willing to host a Cars and Coffee or host a solid
Speaking
meet.
of that, you know what's funny, which like you guys probably know and you guys probably know, have you noticed meets during the daytime don't usually get that crowd versus meets during nighttime?
Nighttime just attracts the younger kids because those younger kids are usually at school, working, or doing something.
I think it's the association of like Need for Speed or anything, or Fast and Furious.
Like
it's always at night.
A weekend where like they're still going to be young kids. They're out of school. It's a weekend, and it's the morning of a weekend, like a Cars and Coffee.
Yeah.
I feel like the Cars and Coffee crowds are way different than the late night meet crowds, where the late night meet crowds, like to go off, they're the younger crowds.
Because you have to get up early and be responsible to get to Cars and Coffee.
That's why they have it that early, is so those crowds don't show up.
But
I'm sure they'd love to have it later.
The late night meets are something where it brings out a different animal of people that pretty much come out there, and it's more hood rat.
It is.
I mean, it's more high school, dude. It's like if you go to any like nighttime car meet versus like a Cars and Coffee,
it's all high schoolers.
It is 99% high schoolers. Cars and Coffee is like 99% old dudes. It's completely divided.
Can we meet halfway in the middle? Just do a relatively. I mean, I was gonna say a nice car meet at like 5 p.m., but there's too much traffic for us to be out here doing that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think so. The two reasons that even car meets realistically happen at these times is because businesses don't want you to occupy their space where customers normally would be. So you have it at night after they're closed or in the morning before they're open.
Exactly.
This is exactly why we do it. And that's how businesses coordinate this when they have these things specifically for that. And the assumption is in the morning that you're going to get people who come, linger after the car show, and then go shop.
Exactly.
Honestly, what would be amazing, which it's hard to do with cops, is set things up in terms of meets to where you have cops there at the meet, but they're not going to be pulling over just anybody. They're going to be pulling over the people that instigate stuff that are start revving and burnouts.
Oh, yeah. In a
But
perfect world.
they leave everybody else be unless there's a reason given to the cops. To do
We
something.
should do this. We should make a partnership with our local PDCA. We're going to host a
They
meet.
don't give a shit.
I know. Hold on.
They're not
Hear
gonna
me
do it.
Hear me out. Where us, as the organization, can host a meet, and if somebody acts up, we can literally give them a ticket. Be like, dog, I know exactly what you got. I'm going to state ref you for being stupid. Everybody else is
Yeah, no, I'd rather just do something where it's like there's one officer at like the entrance or exit, and if somebody leaves like the meet doing some dumb shit,
I'd like to
or
inflict
does a
pain on
burnout,
somebody like I've
then
been
the cop
inflicted.
could go after them and give a ticket. But for everybody else that's just there hanging out and leaves casually, the cop wouldn't do anything,
Yeah, but I think we all know how cops work.
which is the
Which-
unfortunate thing.
Yeah, which is ticket everybody to get as much revenue as possible, and then worst case scenario, just fucking murder citizens in the street, gang. And that's how we end up with the whole street racing culture ruining car meets, takeover culture ruining car meets, and then those cops with that aggression coming to car meets with the same aggression.
I think the whole problem, even your whole problem with police here, and I think at the very end of the day, especially what we're coming to give about this etiquette, is ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
People do not know. The police don't know the difference between the people who are actually doing this and who are not.
Yeah.
It's just they have no idea. They've been trained a certain way to say, "Hey, all car things are this," right? They lead to. I'm not trying to put my neck out. I'm just saying at the end of the day, it's because people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so here telling you car etiquette and how to act appropriately is because we want to do these things, and this is what happens as a result of people not.
Yeah. Don't
Right?
get me wrong. The cops should be pulling over the people who are doing dumb shit. It's just the fact that they don't.
They don't
And
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then the people who get pulled over are like, "Oh, your car's unsafe," and it's like, have you ever even driven anything remote? You know how this feels? Do you know how this is set up? No,
Actually,
you're just
camper's
guessing.
not
Yeah,
unsafe.
it's so many things are like not as bad as they think. It's insane.
I think the blanket term is unsafe because they have
It's
no idea.
different. Yeah.
No,
Well,
and
it's-
they
it's-
just have been deemed
different.
illegal for no reason.
It's because it's been modified past the OEM
Yeah.
capabilities.
It's-
That's the simple fact of the matter.
What really, I mean, we're going on another tangent here, but
Yeah,
what it
tangents.
really is like, it can't be legal because then you have to trust that everybody does the same quality work or
Right.
uses the same quality parts, all that kind of stuff. It's like some of these cars are dangerous.
Yeah, we can't
But-
have kids rolling around on washers and calling that safe.
Because
Exactly.
you
Like that
could
actually-
have a
If you're catching
you
air
could
on
have
the
a
freeway,
Lexus LC like yours that's
Yeah.
built like how yours and it's safe. But then you could have somebody else that has a Lexus LC and it's built to trash,
yeah, it actually is like unsafe.
which let's say the looks aspect of it is the exact same,
But
but
it's like-
underneath suspension wise
Yeah.
and everything like
It's
that,
falling
it's
apart.
it's
Yeah.
dog shit.
Yeah.
If you're gonna qualify, I mean, it still even goes down to like, I know we're on a super big tangent,
Yeah.
but how people repair things in general. Like I managed a tire shop for a few, or like kind of right, and I've seen a bunch of stuff. I've seen people come in literally where you lift their car and the strut falls out of the strut tower,
Well, it's because
and it's still bolted together. It just
Yeah,
And
Cal-
the funny thing is, usually those people are the ones instigating the attention at
Yeah.
cart meets.
it's because California doesn't have state inspection on the whole vehicle. It's just smog focused. Like in Virginia, once a year, your whole
The
car.
safety inspection.
Yeah, a full safety inspection on everything, and then a sticker goes in your windshield to say that blah blah blah. It's whatever. Here, it's like half the cars on the freeway are falling apart to the point where it's like these are more dangerous than the cars you are saying are dangerous.
Yep.
yeah.
And
Like
the
they're
reason
rusted,
why it's
falling
the
apart.
exhaust is targeted is because they know they could get revenue out of it
Yeah,
as well, so
exactly.
they push that to the extremes.
Anyways,
Oh, whatever.
back to
etiquette.
back to
So
etiquette.
that was kind of the rough idea regarding
Meats.
car meet etiquette,
meat
but then car
specifically.
show etiquette, I think, is a whole different equation of things.
Definitely.
It definitely falls the line where it's like, don't be stupid. Don't be, let's say, revving for attention or doing a burnout outside of the show while you're
But-
like loading into a show and stuff like that. But it still falls into the same category.
I think car shows are the time and place to do these things. So there are car shows where they have burnout boxes and things like that for you. Go to these things. Get your car in there. If you are interested in doing donuts, doing burnouts in the street, revving two-step, they have two-step competitions. They have burnout boxes, and they have, like, donut boxes.
You can
Go
to a
do
drift
all that
event, you
shit,
do
bro.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right
Yeah.
place, right time.
Definitely. Well, I thought you were going in a very sketchy direction. I was like, not. You
I was a
can't
little
rev and
worried.
do everything at every
I was
show.
a little worried, but then
Yeah, yeah.
like I was
No.
like, oh wait, no, he's completely
Yeah.
right. Yeah, there's two-step competitions.
There's the right place and right time to be doing these things.
Yeah.
And people will be like, yo, that shit is cool, dog.
Yeah. Not while being in a parking lot with 500 other people who are trying to be as low key as humanly possible. You know?
And the thing I like about those shows that have it more sanctioned in terms of two-step competition, burnout box, stuff like that, is also they're very strict when it comes to if somebody in the crowd, like after the two-step competition, just starts two-stepping or revving the exhaust,
Right.
somebody will go there and tell them to
Hey,
shut up.
shut that shit down. Yeah.
Because it's something where they're on a schedule. They're on a sanctioned situation to where it's like, hey, this is when you want to do this. This is when you have to do this.
If the thought in any way, shape, or form pops into your head of, watch this at a car show or car meet, whatever you're about to do not do it. That is, just use that as the perfect like bookmark of like burnout, rev,
So
even just ripping an e-brake, anything.
If you're getting into cars, if you're getting into the car scene, if you're getting into going to car shows, if you have the thought in your mind of, oh, I want to make my car loud and I so want to rev it at a car show because I know people like will hear it and people will like people.
Don't modify
no.
your car. Don't get into cars.
Okay,
You're
okay.
a tension builder. You're not welcome here.
So that was extreme.
Is it?
People will not have that perception that you might be thinking in your mind of, oh, people will think I'm cool for revving this motor.
Yeah, no one's gonna.
People will not think the same way you do. You may think it's cool and you could rev it on your own time outside of the show, whatever it may be. But what people will actually think when you start revving your car at a car show, they will be thinking that you're annoying.
Yes.
And they want you to leave.
Unless-
and they want you
Unless your engine blows up, everybody's gonna think that was awesome.
Or you're a supercar, which I mean, granted they shouldn't be doing it either, but for whatever reason they kind of get a pass. If you got more than 10 cylinders, you're kind of free to rev. You know, that's kind of my
If you're at
rule of thumb.
If you're at a car show and it has the chance of shutting down the show
Oh yeah, definitely don't
or
do it.
ruining it for
Yeah,
everybody else, I don't
Yeah.
care what car it is. Leave that to after the show.
Yeah,
Like whatever it may be.
shows specifically, like indoor shows. This is my biggest thing because I have a perfect example from what just happened at Tuner Evo. It's not the end of the world or anything, but it's like almost every indoor show that I've been to here in SoCal is like they wrap up, everything's going great. They're like, okay, don't everybody start your cars at the exact same time because we're still in a confined space.
Everybody does.
The doors aren't open yet. Everybody starts it. It's like, dude, just listen to the announcement and just wait. It's not like you starting your car is going to get you out any faster, and especially to the people who rev it inside, which, like, granted, does sound kind of cool.
It does.
But that's
But
the
it ruins it,
That's
yeah.
the perspective aspect that like what I was just trying to describe, where it's like in your mind you're like, oh, my car sounds
You're
cool.
like, what other opportunity am I going to have to be in a convention
I'm
center?
indoor.
Yeah.
If I rev it,
So
it's
we-
going to sound even cooler.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is nobody else will think that way.
Yeah,
It's
and-
your car, so of course you're going to be biased towards how it sounds and
If you
how
want to
you
hear
want
that,
it to sound.
go park in a tunnel or something.
I
Go-
hope
go to a-
somebody finds the video that I am a thumbnail on a popular YouTuber's video of them saying like, "Oh, this is crazy." And it's me doing this exact thing inside of a convention center.
The same
just send it
rule
to me, I'll put
applies
it in.
to the indoor stuff. When it's time to rev, if there's like if somebody tells you to rev in terms of like the show itself,
Oh yeah, go for it.
go
Yeah.
for it. If your buddy tells you to rev because they want to hear it,
Maybe not.
don't listen to your buddy. Maybe get a new friend.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
backing into the indoor etiquette,
Or
because
just
there's
show. I feel like we
like the
covered
indoor-
like the meat stuff.
Yeah, meat.
particularly.
Specifically
Cars.
with indoor shows, because
We got the
I
meats.
feel like there's a lot more indoor shows nowadays too, or because like let's say Tuner Evo like they're starting to do more shows in the year span. Like
Yeah. Especially
So-
now coming out of
I would
COVID, where
agree.
like we didn't have shows
just
for
pile
2
in
years.
as many shows as possible,
Exactly.
and those types of shows are indoor shows.
I also think it's kind of a cash grab. Just my 2 cents.
Oh,
That's
it
what it
completely
is.
is, but it's business.
It works.
Power,
I mean,
power to
yeah.
them.
I'm
If-
desperate to get outside, so I'm out
But
there.
there's a few things with indoor shows that we should cover. First thing, fuel.
Oh yeah, that's the
Always.
most
I think
annoying
that's a
thing.
big one. So
Quarter tank, dog.
Yeah.
indoor shows, they will always tell you quarter tank. If you don't have a quarter tank, you cannot be let in.
And you might think like, oh, I could probably squeeze by. No.
They like
You will be doing laps
from
around the
personal
venue.
experience, they will not let you in no matter how much you lie, no matter what store you get. Like
Yeah.
I've said stuff where it's like I was at like above half a tank or right about half a tank, and I was just like, "Oh, my fuel grade, like it doesn't work."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Nope, sorry." Or if I've said, "Oh, it doesn't work. I actually have a fuel cell in the back, so it's not accurate." And they're like, "Nope, sorry."
Because in that
They don't-
circumstance, it's a legit dangerous situation to have 500 cars.
The
with
people
full of
that
gasoline.
check your
Yeah.
gas gauge aren't people affiliated with the show.
They're
Guess
fire
who
marshals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're people from the actual city that check it for safety reasons.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit what type of car you have. They don't give a shit if your car makes it inside the show. Their job is to make sure the show is ran safely.
Yeah.
My first experience doing this, and we're telling you guys from experience about this one. This is not so much of a, hey, don't be that guy.
Yeah.
We're telling you don't be
This
that guy
is,
because we've been that
I've
guy.
shown up to so many shows and had to go floor it on the freeway for
Right.
like 10 minutes.
My
30 minutes.
first time doing this was for AutoCon. I want to say in like 2016, and it was inside the Staples Center, right? Or like the LA Convention Center.
Oh,
sorry,
damn. I was
next to
like,
the-
damn, what
next-
show is that?
I wish I would.
next to the Staples Center.
Yeah.
And I had no idea about the gas thing, right? And so I roll up, and the guy's like, I'd just gotten full tank of gas, and he was like, "You gotta be at a quarter tank," and I was like, "Yeah, that's not happening. What do you want me to do about that?" He was like, "Well, I don't know," and he pointed to the freeway,
Yeah.
and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" So I went to the side, and of course, I was two-stepping. But it was literally just to dump as much gas as I could. So I was just laying on the clutch and the gas and just wah, pop, 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 pop. And people had to come out and be like,
That's
hey,
funny.
stop. You
Like,
gotta
Yeah,
go.
you gotta go somewhere else. If you want to see some cool cars driving around, come to a show at the LA Convention Center about an hour before rolling, and then just park somewhere around, and you'll see people doing hella laps because
Yep.
everybody forgets. It's so common. But
When you did that, did you not realize that just driving the car around would burn more fuel than two-stepping?
Yeah, but it was in LA, and I
Yeah,
had
you don't wanna
already
drive
I
there.
had, I had already lost a diffuser that I had just made for.
Oh.
I feel like I remember this vlog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
do remember this
I was
vlog.
ripping in LA, just built this diffuser at my buddy Luke's house. We just met up with Luke recently on a video. And I built this diffuser, was so stoked to have it at the show, hit a pothole, ripped it off. It wasn't a pothole, it was one of those metal grate things that they
Yeah,
have in
yeah.
LA,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And it ripped it off, and I was already upset. I was like, I'm not going to be rolling around here anymore. And so that's when I was just...
GG.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lost a soldier that day.
And then the guy ended up feeling bad for me because I was not going to do it at all, be able to get under half a, or a quarter tank.
Oh, they just let you in?
And the guy, he was like, I didn't see this, bro.
Oh, all right.
Which
Shut
you
you-
guys don't rely
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, that never works.
Just show up with a quarter tank.
He had to make sure that my battery was disconnected and I had no electrical current going through my car.
Yeah, that's another thing with the battery disconnect.
That's huge.
Definitely, because everybody tries to avoid that. Where it's like the marshal comes around, and we're like, "Oh, is your battery disconnected?" And you're like, "Yeah."
Pop your
Yeah.
hood. and you're
Pop your head.
Yeah,
bro.
it's just-
my hood's stuck. Because as soon as you take that battery off, it's like your keys don't work. It's
Or it's like those guys that rock underglow. And they're
Oh
like,
yeah.
But what about all my lighting?
Those guys are supposed to bring or
An
like
external
have,
battery
yeah,
pack.
an external battery pack, or have the car have its own separate like exposed battery to run all that stuff.
Because what you can do if you're so torn about that, you could have an external battery that you hook pretty much the power from all your lighting to instead of your main battery.
Yeah,
So
that's the proper way to
think
do it.
ahead.
Yeah.
Not during the moment when the marshals are coming around. And
Especially as someone whose battery is in their trunk, it is pretty annoying. I gotta tear the whole thing apart.
Yep.
Because
It's under my carpet. I gotta move the compressor thing. It's a nightmare.
Now, you know what's bigger than disconnecting your battery?
Touching cars?
Not touching these people's cars.
Put the clip in.
I thought you liked that picture
Nice.
of that guy.
What?
I thought you liked that.
I thought it was
touching
funny,
your guy's
but
car.
I thought it was funny, but I recorded it because of how obviously he shouldn't have been doing that. It was. That's why it was funny.
Can we
He was just
can we
leaning
zoom
all
in?
over.
Can we zoom in on the straddle that he got going on? The stance.
He had a really good foot stance, as you can see right here. Pretty gnarly. But more people than you think go around like touching stuff.
That's definitely a no. The biggest no is the car models, dude. When the car
Please.
models come up to people's cars and they don't ask the owner to pose, and then they're leaning against the cars.
I feel like that's pretty rare. I feel like I see
No,
more
dude.
people.
Never really.
I feel
I
like-
see that at every
I've
show.
come
yeah,
back
but
to
it al-
oily butt cheek prints on my
Yeah.
hood, and I'm like,
But at
where
every
did
show,
this
I
come
also
from?
see like little kids with their parents, like touching everything, and the parents are just like, "Oh yeah, that's fine."
That
I
too.
feel like that happens more often than the model stuff. But the model stuff definitely also
That's
happens.
but that's something where it's like they'll sit on your hood and like
Yeah, my buddy
You don't
lost
know.
a fender to that. Some girl sat on his front fenders that were fiberglass, and he like just was walking up as she was getting up, and she walked away and they were cracked. And he's like, "What do I do?" And I think that was the
well
end of it.
either
Yeah, he didn't get any money from it, so it just happened.
Damn,
So be aware of
that
that.
must have been a fat ass.
or a very cheap kit.
Yeah. Probably a mix. But yeah,
But,
that's
yeah.
like honestly the biggest one is like I just swat. I swat over detailing my car, even though I didn't want to, and then I come back and there's fingerprints all over the windows and stuff. Come on, bro. Just don't touch it. It's so simple.
So parents of these kids that are running around touching people's cars, tell your kids, discipline your damn kids too.
Yeah,
Tell your kids not to touch other people's stuff.
hit them. Or maybe don't hit them. I don't know.
No, no. I was like,
Hit the kids.
I don't want to get.
Before I do,
I don't
dog.
want to get canceled for saying something like that because it's
Don't get me wrong.
disciplining your kids.
I'll hit your kids. If you don't hit them, I'll hit them.
If you want me to hit your kids, Alex will hit your kids.
All right. fair enough.
Alex, the kid hitter.
All right. This has gone further than I thought.
There's
it
a
would.
new
you
there's
set
a new
yourself up.
section on the Dead On website.
Dead.hit-kids. Dead.kids.
Dead kid. Okay, that's bad.
Alex has a lot of dead kids. I'm sorry.
Anyways.
That LC trunk is
Small. For small kids.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was full of dead kids.
So, that was a little bit about etiquette. One other thing that's related to car shows,
What?
Judging.
which is
Oh, yeah.
a big aspect of car shows, is judging.
Arguably the most important doesn't matter at all point of a car show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Which,
it's... One, it definitely... It doesn't matter. If you go to shows for winning trophies and stuff,
It doesn't matter, says the guy who just walked away with a trophy.
I just catch dubs because I'm sick. I can't help it. But people who go to car shows for trophies is like...
The guy who goes to the trophy area after he's like, "Oh, the awards are coming."
see,
Everybody... Oh, my God.
the only
All
way
right.
to back up your statement that
People
you're saying
mad
right
because I
now,
get trophies everywhere I go and they don't, bro. What?
the only way to back up that statement is if you didn't go up to get your trophy when they called your name.
Oh, you want... Okay. You want me
Yeah.
to be that guy, Doug?
Yeah, you should be that guy.
All right.
Yeah.
You win one. Let me see you not walk up.
Steven's
Oh, I will,
Oh,
and I'll
my
accept it
trophy.
Okay.
because I like trophies.
Yeah.
They're nice. They're
Yeah.
shiny.
They're stupid, but they're also free plastic, so I'll take it.
Oh, really? Dude, I miss the good old days when car shows used to provide some sick trophies. Like my one from AutoCon is laser etched, engraved into glass.
Yeah. The only people who do cool trophies now is like Kuruma, where they do like a whole lip or something.
Yeah, those are cool trophies.
Yeah.
But,
But
In terms of like trophies and judging,
yeah.
it's like you have your opinion on it. Tyler has his opinion. I bet
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. It's something where with judging, it's like I wouldn't say I'm die for it. Where it's like I like the social aspect of it too, but it's like if I've built something cool, I want to show it off, and if it gets recognized and judged and get a trophy out of it, like I'm all for that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's something where I'm not going to knock the people that are trying to compete and show off their car and get judged accordingly, because it's like the same thing where if like you're in your sports and you're going after the trophy and stuff like that, are you going to just be the person that's just there playing sports?
But sports are a competition.
Right.
Which
Cars are not a competition.
Cars are not a competition.
If
And
you're in contest
here-
with someone, that's you
yeah.
making that up in your mind.
So
No
this
one's
is
battling
this is
you, bro.
this has been my opinion up until this year with the Porsche. With my Genesis, all the years that I've had it and put it in shows, I'm not gonna say never. There have only been 2 occasions where I've actually entered my car into the competition, and other than that, I didn't care to do it whatsoever. And that's because I always say that I've built my car to enjoy it, and I like going to the car shows for the social aspect, hanging around with my friends, and just kind of showing off the build. And I think the accolade is getting into the show itself. But I'm not going to say getting recognized for your work is bad.
It's not like it feels bad.
Yeah.
It definitely feels good. Like little extra nice job.
Yeah, that's where I support it. I'm like, okay, friendly competition, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm kind of getting around to now. Whereas before, I kind of looked negatively towards it for trophy hunters, where people build this intentionally just to win things to say.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the trophy stuff would get a lot more respect, or people would be more interested in it if I feel like so many shows trophies just go to whoever has like the most parts instead of like who has the best looking thing or did something the best, and it's just like, you have 1,000 things, there you go. And it's like, it's clapped, but all right.
But not only that, I think car show judging can get a little political. Do you guys not think when you
very
see
much.
the same car winning over and over again, you're like, okay,
But is that car sick?
yeah.
because that's the
Prime
thing.
example,
If
I think a lot of us know Dana.
Yeah,
I know you know Dana.
Oh, I know Dana.
Yeah.
bro.
Dana directly. I'm not saying
Lexus.
anything about his build. Amazing build. Love the guy.
Yeah, no
cool
hate
dude.
at all. Yeah.
He wins.
He wins
all
like,
the time.
because
I think-
he's usually like the most done in his class. Again,
Yeah.
it's like there aren't a lot of RCFs at car shows, and when
Right.
there is, it's like him or like one with bags and wheels.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, obviously
Yeah.
the trophy's got to go to this one. Not the bags and wheels.
Right.
and it's interesting seeing kind of that political bias in a way, depending on the show as well, because it's like the judges aren't the same between these different shows as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some shows you might see these cars that have more of a theme winning trophies. Some shows you see it based like purely off of how many modifications they have on the car.
Yeah.
So you could kind of see what style is preferred by kind of the judging bias in a way, because judging will never be perfect. You can never make it perfect, because it's not ran by robots. It's ran by people, and people always
people
have some form of
opinionated
bias.
stuff. Yeah.
But it's also something where if let's say you don't get a trophy, don't be bummed about it.
If you're the
when
guy-
I was early in like the car show kind of scene, I would get so bummed for like not getting an award or something like that, because like I wanted to feel that recognition in a way, but also at the same time you have to remember you don't need to get a trophy to like have that recognition of you have something cool. It's for yourself. You built it for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't strive after the trophy. If you get a trophy, cool.
And don't be that guy like posting about it later and being like, this show fucking sucks, bro. I'm never going again. I didn't get a trophy because my stock WRX didn't win best of show, bro. Why would I even go again if I'm not going to get the number 1 place ahead of everybody else?
Instead, if you're that guy, didn't get a trophy, and somebody else got, let's say, best Subaru, go check out that best Subaru. Go check out his build. Look what he did. He got He or she got recognized for their build.
Sorry.
Got that award. Maybe you could take some critique in terms of seeing what they did on their build, to where maybe you could put certain things that they did into your style of things, where it's like they did something cool on their car and you see that and that got recognized. I'm not saying copy it, but
Definitely don't copy it.
Copy it, dude.
it's
Copy,
all
paste,
it's
Control
all a
V.
learning experience at the end of the day too. Like years and years ago when my GTI was stock body and just bags and wheels, I thought it was the coolest thing. But then I got a reality check when I saw these crazy caliber builds like also at the show, and I was just like, wow, okay, that's a whole different level.
You should go to shows and think my shit sucks. If you go to shows and you're like, I got the hardest thing here, you probably don't.
You're lying to
definitely
yourself. Don't lie to yourself.
Now, I hosted a show. I'll go over this real quick. But I hosted a show a long time ago, and I was so stoked that I got to judge a show and do it like my way, where I'm like, I'm going to give these trophies to the dudes who deserve it and not the rice boxes with 1,000 mods that look horrible that just win off of like paperwork, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, people were very upset about that. And guess what? Don't care. That's how it should be. It was just like, if you did something properly or unique or clean, or even if it wasn't like so crazily done, but the thing you did was like dialed to like a noticeable spec, I feel like that's what should be like getting the
What I
attention.
want to see out of trophies or pretty much awards in the future is what they've done in the past. Have a 1, 2, and 3. Because what I've seen at shows recently is it's just a best of class, which what that takes away from is not diversifying it in a way where it's just like, have a 1, 2, and 3. Yes, it's more awards. Yes, it's going to cost the show more money, but that's what the show needs to do. It needs to take a little bit of a hit, and I for sure know you're going to appeal more to the masses if you do have a 1, 2, and 3 instead of just a best of show.
I kind of agree, because I feel like the more people who will win awards, and like I said, I was against it before, will feel more included, and more people will be apt to shoot for other positions next time.
Where
You know what I'm saying?
it's a fine line of not being too inclusive to where it's then just a
I feel like-
participation award.
I kind of disagree.
I feel
where
like you're
I
handing
think-
out participation awards.
Yeah, the more selective you are, makes what you won more valuable. And so a lot of these shows, definitely like the huge shows, like where there's, I'm really bad with counting large things.
1,000 cars.
Well, if
Sure,
it's a
1,000
smaller show,
cars,
like if
but-
it's a smaller show and it's 1, 2, and 3, and there's only 4 cars.
Yeah. Like
No,
the show
just have a best.
the
of
show I
class
just
for
went
that.
to had a top 25, and then I don't know, like 5 or 10 other awards. There were maybe 40 cars there, and it's like, okay,
Half of them.
everybody just got a participation trophy. Like, cool,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think
There's so many ways to do it, because there's shows that do, let's say, they do like a top 25, like you
Yeah.
said, or like they do a top 50 if there's
that's
a lot of
personally my
cars.
favorite, because there's no like class limits, and like you said, where you're like, if things that you wanted to be a top 3, well, maybe now, let's say like 4 Volkswagens are there, you're one of them and another one that's sick, and then that one guy wins one of the best top 25 things. In a normal show, if that guy won best Volkswagen, you're like, oh,
Well-
I don't fit in anything else for the rest of the categories. Top
Right.
25, you're like, someone might have just liked it. I don't know. Who cares?
No, that's a
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
a
big
good
one,
point.
because what I've had to deal with Volkswagen, especially at like Tuner Evo, Spocom, stuff like that, where those are, in my opinion, more JDM friendly shows.
Mhm.
You deal with lesser turnout for the Euro cars, which what they do is they jumble cars together to where if there's not a big turnout for Euro cars, or let's say VW Audi, they'll push them into best Euro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have to compete with
Whoa.
every Euro car for that class.
You're
instead
coming
Gen-
from 2 guys who came from
Genesis.
Dude, owning a Genesis, almost for the majority of the time I owned it, almost every show I went to didn't even have a category for Hyundai or anything.
I
And
forget
you're just
about
like,
that. Yeah.
whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
you know.
And now,
Or they bunch it all together.
yeah, now they bunch all the Korean cars together. Kia, Hyundai, and I keep losing to fucking Stingers. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, it's not the same.
Yeah. Or you're like me, where I'm in like a Lexus category, where it's just like the most wide range category. And
Right.
if they don't break it up, it's like, okay, we have like an
VIP car?
a
Yeah.
VIP LS400 with like $150,000 worth of mods versus like a ES
Right.
or something. It's like, wait, that's the same, but
See, this is why I also like Euro car shows as well, because with Euro car shows, given that, or let's simplify it even more, like VW Audi car shows or VAG car shows where there's Porsche involved as well. They simplify the award so much to where like there's a best golf award where it's like golf GTI, golf Rs, or they do it based off the generation. I think that's cool because it's also there's only those types of cars there. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, based off that, it's every show has a different dynamic.
Yeah. To sum it up, trophies are trophies. Some shows judge differently than others.
Enjoy your life without a trophy or with a trophy. It don't matter.
Go there for fun. If you leave with one, that's a plus. If you don't,
If you ain't going for trophies, I don't know what you're doing. If you don't get one, you're a fucking loser.
Exactly. Cry about it, bro.
But yeah, that was a little bit about car shows, car meets, judging, whatever it may be.
I just feel like a lot of people, or a lot of especially younger kids I've seen on like TikTok and stuff, ask a lot of questions about this type of stuff. So hopefully that this was some information that was beneficial for you guys.
If you guys have any more questions regarding it, feel free to reach out and ask.
There could be a whole subsection we're missing. We don't even know.
There's so much to talk about this type of stuff. Where
What's the etiquette at takeovers?
Hey, put your foot to the floor and do donuts is
every person you hit is 10 points.
I just thought it was open fire.
Yeah.
Oh.
No? Okay.
Oh.
All right. Anyways, today's
current event.
We have a current event this week.
It's a hot one.
It's a hot one.
And it's got so much positive attention.
It's a big dub for us Hyundai boys.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Who's that?
It is a Hyundai.
Oh, you guys are looking at me. Well,
you're the Hyundai boy.
Yeah. Well,
Come on, spit it out.
We were. So Hyundais, we had we had a Tiburon, and that was the cool thing.
Yeah.
We had a Genesis, which
Wait, you
was
said
the
Tiburon was a cool thing?
Yeah, it was before the
continue.
Genesis.
Yeah.
That was like literally the only car that they had that was cool.
Yeah.
My ears itchy.
Genesis Coupe, Genesis Sedan.
They had Genesis Coupe, Genesis Sedan, and then
okay, what is it?
They had nothing.
What is it?
What is
this?
Until now.
Hyundai is back with the RN22E, which is a hybrid electric hydrogen.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of fuel this thing takes. Freaking race car from their concept car that they did back in, how long ago was it? Let's get the date for this for you.
Oh, this previously existed?
This was a concept car that they made in 1974.
Did not know these details.
In 1974, and the rendering that they put out for this is almost spot on to the car that's coming out now. And they basically said, shit ain't changed, dog.
That's pretty sick.
I'm making this.
I thought it was totally like just some random thing they pulled.
Well, no,
out.
there was two. I think you're talking about the more production one.
Oh.
No. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the EV freaking race car.
Yeah.
This thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This thing. Yeah. This is based on their Pony Coupe concept car in 1974. Our hydrogen-powered, track-capable hybrid EV, and thinking beyond what's possible on the starting grid.
You're thinking of like the egg thing.
You're
coming
thinking
out.
about the egg thing.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
So that one, I do remember that one is based off the 70s model, which was very geometric.
Yeah. And this thing, sick.
Yeah.
You know why I love this so much, which plays true to my European heart?
What?
It has so much Quattro heritage.
Oh, it does look like a Quattro.
Look at
I will
that.
give
Does
it.
it?
It does. Have you seen old Quattros?
Yeah.
They kind of are boxy like this. The headlights, I would say more so than anything in the chin spoiler.
This looks like if Audi made a Quattro concept for the future.
I didn't get that at all.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah, no.
Oh.
It looked
I
more
got it
like
completely because it's a two-door slant hatch back.
It just reminded me of like a Z.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The back end kind of does look like a Z. I mean, there's so many cars that you
DeLorean.
can. DeLorean. It looks like a DeLorean.
S13.
It has S13. It has like a 240 kind of rear hatch vibe.
Quarter
They're
glass.
styling from everything.
They're styling from everything, and The sickest thing for me is on the wheels, okay? A lot of EV wheels are dumb and stupid. They make some really period correct era like turbofan
Yeah,
wheels, and
yeah.
they are just like, that's hard.
I pray that those remain on the production model.
Me too. I hope so.
Well, one thing with, historically speaking, with concept cars, especially like this, where it's not even a real life concept, that was just simply a render. Most times than not, it's not going to be
Anything
how
like
that,
that.
anything.
Yeah.
Like
Unless-
go back to like the Toyota FT1 concept, which was supposed to be the Supra.
Mm-hmm.
Look how different that looked comparative to the new Supra now.
Yeah, rest in peace.
So,
Only car to ever look exactly like it.
but I really do hope it, like the body style of it, like the boxiness, the aero, all that, like does come into effect. That would be really cool.
You know what else is going to be really, really cool when we watch this podcast back and realize how we're big dumb idiots?
Oh no.
I think it was confusing. I think what
Did
was...
you mess up some of the stats or something?
No, I didn't mess up the stats.
What happened?
What we've all come to agree that we love is the look of this car.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
The look that we were deciding that we liked was the 1974 edition one that they wanted to come out with.
Wait, don't tell me the bubble car is...
The bubble car is what it's going to look like.
No, it's two different cars.
It's got to be.
It's two,
The
no.
other car that they're releasing is the common person one. That's that egg shape.
Uh-huh.
This one
What is that? Let me see that.
is
Slide
the
that over
same egg-shaped car, but it's the
No,
race car.
The original render, which we showed first, the more boxy one, that's a separate concept. That's like the N75 or whatever they
here. Yeah, it
call
had like a 70
That's
something.
it,
like
Yeah.
the N75, I think, is what they call it.
This is the RN22E.
That's a
I
And
thought
it's
it was
a
separate.
bubbly, is it not?
That,
bubbly?
Yeah, no, it
but
is.
that's a completely different car.
Isn't this a different?
That's
Give me this. Give
Please.
me this.
which that one is badass as well. It's very motorsports inspired, where they took pretty much their commuter car and transformed it into a motorsport car.
Yeah.
But no, it's the Hyundai like N75 concept. The photo that you initially
If that's
we
true,
initially showed.
that could be true.
No,
'Cause I did
it's
see
two,
it, like,
two separate.
a bunch of stuff, and it
Hyundai
was-
did two separate posts regarding both.
Oh, I hope. If not,
'Cause
this
they're called-
podcast
they're-
is over.
They're called two. They're called two different things.
Yeah, this is the one that I'm talking. Yeah, so this is it's the N74. It's the Hyundai
N75.
Envision 74.
I was one
Okay.
Probably
number
the
off.
Korean. Yeah.
That was close.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're not talking about
Scared
the.
us a
We're
little
not.
bit.
We're not talking about. We got the mix up. So the RN.
You got the mix up.
Yeah, the RN. what is this
We're
called?
not talking about the
We're not
semicircle.
talking about the RN one.
Yeah.
We're only
Yeah.
talking about the
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 N74.
RN22E. Forget about that.
We're talking about the 76.
Forget about that. We're talking about the
N74.
N74.
Oh, 74.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
The
man.
Nintendo 74.
We are
bro.
all over the place. But everything we said still stands, just different name. I'm excited to see how close it actually stays. But
I just want to see like even if it's just going to be a concept, I just want to see one in person.
yeah,
Like instead of it
I
just being
mean-
like, I want to see Hyundai make a one-off concept just of that. just
compared
see
to
it.
their SUVs and stuff that they're even
Oh,
releasing, those are
they
even
got a
pretty crazy.
Hyundai N has a whole website built to this, dedicated with its own page. So I'm pretty sure this thing is going to come out. So let's it says from imagination into reality. After 7 years of envisioning the hydrogen-powered high-performance, Hyundai N realizes its passion with the Envision 74 and sets a sight beyond electric cars.
Hopefully,
Um,
we'll see.
okay, you guys keep talking about it. It's going to be
A piece of shit.
a piece of shit. Yes.
Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
But yeah, no, if you haven't checked it out, go look up kind of the posts about it, information about it. It's a pretty cool car, and it's going to be interesting to see because Hyundai's definitely been pushing the development with a lot of cool stuff. Like their lighting has been really cool and a
Yeah.
lot different in terms of like the new Ioniq cars
Mhm.
have the square pixelated lighting.
Exactly.
Pixelated light, which
Is it's super cool, and it's something where they're really bringing back kind of like a retro feel versus A lot of other companies, they have a lot of curvy lines instead of boxy lines. So it's
Well, every like I forget what the time period is. It's either like a decade or so. But I watched this this thing that shows like car design. Every like decade or 2 decades goes from boxy to round, just
Which is
bounces
wild.
back and
Yeah.
forth. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but,
because cars are being real boxy right now.
Yeah, they're going towards boxy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
After Tesla kind of made everything look like a computer mouse.
That's funny.
And then they released a Cybertruck, which was all.
Oh, they released it?
polygon. No, I'm saying like when they released.
yeah.
Release it, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, go check that out. And one cool fact regarding it before we end this current event is.
I already pre-ordered one.
Oh yeah. See, I own one already.
That's crazy. We are both lying.
But
The craziest
the
thing.
designers behind these Hyundai Concepts, which I might be completely mistaken. This is just what I've read.
You know, pull a Tyler.
It's ex Audi and ex BMW M division designers that are in the design work on these concept cars, which maybe that's why I see a lot of kind of Audi Quattro styling with it, especially with the play of lighting, because with Audi designers, Audi has always been really up their
This
game with all the
is-
lighting.
Audi lighting is always very geometric.
It is very geometric. I want to jump in here because I've been reading this whole page going down and scrolling. Well,
Let's hear it.
we got some stats, boys. We got some stats, and they don't even like try to hide it. They have it built on a stack sheet. So they have the dimensions, the wheelbase, motor, battery, hydrogen, and performance.
Any
So
power numbers?
yeah, they
What-
give you power
What
numbers.
do we got?
So on on the motors, they know exactly what's going to be going into it. So the wheelbase, this weight right now is going to be around 2,900 pounds. It's going to have over 500 wheel horsepower and over, get this, 900 max foot-pounds of torque.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's what it says. It's got the craziest thing.
That's getting me
max-
excited for hydrogen technology.
Yeah, hydrogen. Do you want to know how crazy this sounds? On one tank, it says it's going to go over 600 miles.
Yeah.
Or
The hydrogen stuff
So
is like
EV,
I think that's kilometers.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
And
Honestly, if the
Yeah.
hydrogen technology, if it would catch up to at least the availability of like EV stuff right now, it would be so much better.
you know why it hasn't?
Because it's not
Because
easily
big oil
acceptable.
has pushed it out.
Big oil is pushing everything out, bro.
So, like a decade ago, when
Oh,
Toyota was initially,
I'm stupid. I'm sorry.
What?
It's got 670 horsepower
Oh.
because it's in kilowatts.
That's a lot more.
Yep. Yeah, let me figure out what.
So
Toyota did one.
hydrogen's been around for a minute
Yeah,
with like
the Miura and stuff,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. But the reason why it wasn't really pushed is because at that time EV wasn't really
Yeah.
a hit.
Yeah.
So big oil pushed them out, but big oil couldn't really control the EV spike, and it just happened. But now hydrogen's coming back with like Toyota, Lexus,
Trying.
Hyundai, trying at least
Yeah.
as the alternative for EV, because what hydrogen doesn't eliminate that EV does is internal combustion engines. So you know that sound that everybody likes out of their engine where you could rev it up? That will still be there with hydrogen engines because
Yeah.
it's still a combustion engine.
This is going to get 372 miles to the tank. It's going to have 670 wheel horsepower, and it's going to have around 500
So just imagine
torque. Sorry.
you having
those
a
numbers up
longer
bad.
range than EV, and you could be able to fill it up at a normal station.
5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes to go from empty to full. That's what they said.
I thought you meant full to empty. I was like, damn.
No, from
Oh.
empty to
But-
full.
Yeah, other than that, that
Pretty
closes things out regarding the current event. Definitely a cool car. But
Pretty
you know what's
sick.
also cool?
Maybe, hopefully cool. Not guaranteed.
This
All
week,
these.
well, we're not talking about cars. We are going to be talking about people for this week's late night
Are you an
call-outs.
artist? Yeah.
Are you a creative person in the automotive space? Well, these three people sure are.
All right.
Alex,
I go
what's your
first.
pick?
Are you ready?
My pick for illustration is, my pick is an illustration guy by Cartoon Kids. He designed my last, or not my last, but one of my shirts and a couple like posters for me. He does a very, like his name says, cartoon, but like it's a very unique like anime inspired, but more of like bubble characters, if that makes sense. I know he's done work, I believe, with Austin with Never Content and Happy Endings, I think. And
Oh, that's where I've seen him. Never Content. Yeah.
He's done a lot of work for a lot of brands now. But his stuff's super cool, super unique, super cool dude out in Russia. And
Oh, he's in Russia?
yeah.
Damn.
We both had to make like fake Zelle or fake PayPal accounts or something just to get the money through at the time. That was pretty funny. But yeah, shout out to that guy. He's super nice. His work is some of my favorite. Like literally, I've been following him for like so long, and then once the mirror stuff happened, and I was like, oh, I want to make shirts that are kind of like commemorate this thing. I was like, now's my chance to use this guy to make this like thing I've always wanted. So yeah, shout out to Buy Cartoon Kids.
Nice.
Hit him up. Go get a commission done.
Great artist.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Support your local artists.
He's
That's a big
definitely not local. But
Definitely not local.
Oh.
Support
up and coming artists.
support car artists.
Support artists.
Support
That's-
people.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said local.
Just say. Your
I
guy.
guess around the world is local. Whatever is by your definition. Tyler.
Well, my call out today is somebody that I really, really mess with. His Instagram handle is ritter.goods. His name is Andrew Ritter, and he makes some of the most unbelievable car art. It's insane. It's kind of on the same scale like Alex, like bubble cars. He makes a lot of like bubble cars, bubble characters. But it's crazy because it's kind of so realistic, but like bubble, I don't know. His art is very unique, very distinct. When you see it, you're like, man, this is cool. He makes a lot of drawings and 3D renderings of old Porsches, of race cars, like modern day F1 cars, as well as a lot of Euro cars. So you'd probably be into him, Steven.
No,
Yeah.
I've seen his work.
Very good, very iconic. He sells his art. I'm a huge fan, and has inspired a lot of inspired me artistically to be creative and to create new and to see things from a new perspective. I enjoy his art. I enjoy the things that he makes. You guys should follow him and support the stuff that he makes. And Andrew, if you're watching this, can you please make me a t-shirt line or something, bro?
Support
We already said it.
non-local artists.
Yes. Support only artists that are oddly far away. Your turn. Steven.
Is he local or is he in Russia?
He's not in Russia.
He is in
Kazakhstan. Okay. So
I hear my neighbor's music right now. Go ahead, Steven.
So my call out is it's not a visual artist like how Alex and Tyler, where they're, let's say, drawing or creating designs. Mine is I would say a photography illustrator. So my call out is Renz.jpg. His name's Renz. He is a insane photographer. I've known him for a good while.
Did you say photo illustrator?
Huh? What?
Did you say photo illustrator?
No.
Yes, you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You said he's a photo illustrator. And then you were like, he's a photographer. I was like, go ahead.
He illustrates virtual. I don't know, but
Just-
you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
So,
He illustrates photos.
sure. He's an awesome photographer. I've known him for a while. It's something where seeing from when I was first kind of getting into the car stuff and everything, and he was kind of like an up-and-coming photographer, and really, really growing in terms of the quality of content he was putting out. Seeing where he's at now, it's pretty insane to where now he is a published photographer for Motor Trend and works at Motor Trend.
Yeah, that's major.
It's a pretty wild come up.
It's cool seeing him have like pretty much grow throughout the years. And fun fact with it, he shot my V1 setup. He shot the reveal photos for the V2 setup. He shot the reveal photos for the V3 setup. Hopefully we'll maybe plan something for the V4 reveal, but he's always he's kind of always been around in the scene side of things on the photography aspect. And if you haven't checked out his page or know who he is, check it out. It's definitely worth it, and the quality of the work he puts out is insane. He's definitely a master behind the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
That's great
Support
work.
your artists.
Near and far.
Near and
Support your
far.
artists and support us by liking this podcast, commenting down below, telling us what you
Support
guys
that
think, and
Because
if you
we're,
guys are
we're
listening,
artists too. We're
it-
talking artists.
yeah, if you
I'm not.
We're,
if you
we're
guys-
illustrating words right now.
if you guys mess with us
Shut the
on
fuck up,
if
bro.
you if you guys mess with us on Spotify, please give us the 5 stars, and I think that's all we have to say.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Peace.